Well, not really what we expected. Not what we expected, but that's the beauty of the Canadian Football League. The Blue Bombers find a way to escape. Yeah, it was a 10-point victory, but it looked like anything but a 31-21 victory. Welcome inside Game Day After Dark. This is your post-game show. Bombers, Argos. Maybe not the marquee matchup with no Chad Kelly in this contest, but it was a pretty intense football game. And the Toronto Argonauts, they came to play. Winnipeg scored a touchdown on their opening possession and then weren't able to score again, a major that is. Big thanks to the photographer, Sergio Castillo. But Winnipeg wasn't able to score a touchdown again until midway through the fourth quarter. We have got so much to get to on the show. You want to stick around. We have got video highlights of the good and the bad for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in this game. You're not going to get that anywhere else. We are going to get into the stats. We will pull them right up on screen and you'll be able to see them. You'll get analysis and insight from myself, and we'll get the fans' perspective as Zach Schnitzer, Schnitzy, my boy, will join us a little bit later. He is currently making his way back to home, well, to his Bonfire Studio B. He was at the game, making his way back from the Madhouse on Matheson. Third straight sellout for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and I imagine it was a bit of a roller coaster of emotions throughout that one as backup quarterback Cameron Dukes had the Argos in front for the majority of this game. So we look forward to that perspective from Schnitzy. We'll get into Walby's Warrior, Westwood's Wide to the Right, the Bonfire Burning Point, the Happy Honker Award, and so much more. We'll hand out our game balls and talk about what we saw in this game. A Grey Cup rematch. Maybe a Grey Cup preview. Great to see everybody in the live chat. James and Friesen, good to see you, brother. Good to see you, man. Sam is in the live chat. T-Will, Barflies, John Boidiano, good to see you. Tao Zen, what's going on, Tao? John Chan, Dan Asham, the curling, family legend. No question about that. Good to see you, Mr. Asham. Everybody in the live chat, hit the thumbs up. Sasha, how are you? Good to see you in the live chat. Give us your comments. I'm going to make them a little bit bigger on my screen here so I can take another look. Friesen, always got kind of contrarian takes. Olette is no Oliveira. Okay. All right. That's fine. Maybe not. Both good players. Donnie Boy mentioning finally beat a second string quarterback. If you're in the live chat right now, even if you're not, jump into the live chat and hit that thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. Appreciate that a lot. But just go hit that thumbs up and hit the comments. If you're watching this afterwards, you can hit the comments down below. I read them all. I share them with Schnitzy. I share them with Chris Walby. If you're listening on the podcast, thanks for subscribing. Tell a friend. You can leave a review in there as well. Lots to go in this game as so many people may be stuck in traffic tonight. Waiter says still on Michael Bishop Grandin. I like that. Michael Bishop Grandin. Well done. Well done. Strongest arm I've ever seen on a Winnipeg highway. Let's get into some video highlights. I think that's what you guys came here for. Yeah? Let's watch it. So, first drive of the game. Winnipeg got to work. 9 plays, 64 yards, and they capped it with a touchdown to Brady Oliveira. Check down, breaks a tackle, able to work his way in. Great run after the catch, as usual, for Blue Bombers tailback number 20. Great look here at the touchdown run. Well done, Brady. That got things started for Winnipeg. 7-0. They led moments into the game. 5-minute, 11 second drive as Winnipeg absolutely dominated time of possession in this game. Well, it didn't take long for Toronto to respond. In essence, they did it immediately. It was the next drive. And here is AJ Ouellette, who will catch a pass here and take it in 20 yards the rest of the way, 20 yards yak. He had a couple big runs, or a couple big plays. He had the 28-yard touchdown catch you just saw there, 20 yak yards on that reception. He had a 26-yard run earlier in the drive as the Argos put together a 6-play, 73-yard drive, just under 3 minutes to tie the game 7-7. You know, it's interesting to kind of look at how Toronto came out in this game, right? Because I don't know if a lot of people expected Cameron Dukes to do the things that he did, but that kid's a player. That kid is a player. The NAIA, what is that? The North American Intercollegiate, oh, what is it? Northern Athletic Intercollegiate Association, something like that. I apologize to all the NAIA athletes. There are NAIA athletes going to school right here in Manitoba. I think Providence College in Otterburn, Manitoba, just south of Winnipeg, is in the NAIA. But now people know. Now people know. I loved how the broadcast mentioned that Justin Goltz also went to the same school that Brian Scott went to. What was that? Yeah, Occidental College, as we saw Brian Scott, the third stringer for the Argos, come in a little bit later. Cameron Dukes finished 17 of 24 for 231 yards, as we pull the stats up on the screen here. 71% passing. Do we understand how good that is for a first CFL start? 1 touchdown, no interceptions, quarterback efficiency rating of 115.1, as you see there on the right side of your screen. I'll get rid of the Bonfire logo so we can get a look at some of the rushing stats. McMahon was that change of pace back, had a pretty costly fumble that I know we will get to a little bit later. Could be your Bonfire burning point. Hit the live chat right now if you've got some thoughts on your Walby's Warrior, your Westwoods wide to the right. You got a happy honker moment? If you are already aware, if you're a Bonfire listener, you know what that is. Same with the Bonfire burning point. Cameron Dukes, not only did he throw for 231 yards, he ran for 34 as well, including a couple first downs, along of 13, rushed for a touchdown. That was their second of the game. AJ Ouellette, I mean, maybe. Whoops, hang on a second, guys. I do that sometimes. We'll get this straightened out. Just pulling up. Uh, Have I been talking on mute this whole time? Good gracious. Hey, thanks live chat. Appreciate all you guys. John and T Will, Towzen, thank you. Yep, flag on the play. I'll take it. That is a major. That is a major. No, not Remo's laptop. Not Remo's laptop. But hey, at least you guys got to look at some stats. At least you got to look at some stats. Just mentioning, Brady Oliveira, Zach Collaros. Collaros was good. Kept possession of the football for Winnipeg, which I think was really important. Of course, it was really important. Brady Oliveira, this guy is on pace for 1,500 plus yards, had 169 yards on the ground. He averaged 6.8 yards per carry, 4 runs of 10 plus yards. He was just so dang good. So dang good. Had 2 catches for 12 yards as well, including a second down conversion. Had a touchdown through the air as well. The Bombers' offense maybe wasn't able to get into the end zone as much as they would have liked to, but keeping possession, keeping the ball out of the Argos' hands, so important in this game. Cam Dukes, man, I know we're going to talk a lot more about him, but that guy can run. He is a dual threat legit. And Winnipeg, I know people hitting the Bonfire Hotline, 204-816-TIPS, 816-8477, standard message rates apply, just like texting your mama. People in the live chat and on the hotline saying, maybe the Bombers needed to spy Cameron Dukes more than they did. But it's something Winnipeg has really allowed, especially number 2 quarterbacks or backup quarterbacks or, stepping in for a starter. They've really allowed that a lot this year, which has been tough. But how about we take a look at some more highlights? So once the Argos tied the game 7-7, they took. They really started to take it to Winnipeg. Javon Leake, Winnipeg's return teams better today. I like Jamal Parker, and I think he almost got a little bit of a bump, a little bit of juice when he had to step in for Demerio Houston. Houston left the game late in the second quarter, did not return. No update from the Blue Bombers on the status of the CFL's interception leader, Demerio Houston, but Parker stepped in there, played boundary corner. Winston Rose rotated with him a little bit, swapping sides, but Parker played quite well, and I thought he returned the ball even better once he stepped in and started playing a little bit on defense. When the Argos had the football, early especially, they kind of had their way. This was Toronto's second touchdown of the game, as Cameron Dukes ran it in from 5 yards out. That capped a real quick 2-play, 51-yard drive, just 38 seconds. And the reason that was such a quick drive, Javon Leake, as I mentioned a moment ago. Javon Leake, a 48-yard punt return to the Winnipeg 51. When those things were happening, Toronto just seemed to really roll on the momentum. Really, really roll on the momentum. So that made it 14-7. Winnipeg responded with a field goal. Dalton Schoen set up Winnipeg's second score of the game, a field goal drive, a 35-yard catch for Dalton Schoen, and just a huge game for him tonight. 7 plays, 65 yards, just about 2.5, 3 minutes, that drive for Winnipeg to bring them within 4. It was 14-10 early in the second quarter. Winnipeg's pass rush then really started to come on in the second quarter. Toronto went 2-0. Toronto then went 2-0 twice. They went 2-0, then 2-0 again, and then one final possession that they were able to put together a 6-play drive in just 1 minute and kick a field goal to extend a 1-point lead to a 4-point lead going into the half. It was 17-13 at the half. But following that first 2 and out, Winnipeg's pass rush was starting to do some good things, making Cameron Dukes a little bit uncomfortable. Winnipeg got the ball back. Would-be interception negated by an offside penalty against the Argos. Costigan then got to Collaros, a 14-yard sack. Collaros did take a little bit of punishment tonight, but that 14-yard sack really forced Winnipeg into a field goal situation. It was an 8-play, 51-yard drive, but they had to settle for a 33-yard field goal. Again, another pretty long possession, 4 minutes, 33 seconds. That brought them to within a point. That second 2 and out for the Argos was followed by a 10-play drive from the Blue Bombers, from their own 24 all the way to the Argos 9-yard line before a really tough break. And let's see if I got it here. Here we go. I've got the highlight here for you. Brady Oliveira fumbles his 4th fumble of the season. McFadden forced it. Royce Mechie, the Canadian safety, recovered it, returned it 35 yards to the Toronto 44-yard line, and that helped set up Toronto's 6-play, 54-yard drive with just about a minute remaining. In the second quarter. And they were able to add on to their lead to make it 17-13 at the half. Great to see everybody in the live chat. I love it. Charlie Dufo, what's going on? I think I called you Chuck in the comments the other day. I hope that was okay. What's going on, Chuck? I like calling guys, someone's named Charlie. I like calling him Chuck. I think it's a good shorthand. It's better than the shorthand for Richard. I got a couple buddies named Richard. It's Rick. They don't go by the other one. But great to see everybody in there. Hit the comments. Even if you're watching this afterwards, I will respond to your comments afterwards. So sign up for a YouTube account. It's free. Then you can comment. You can hit that thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up right now. Lots of people in the live chat. Over 100 people watching live right now, and only 52 people have hit that thumbs up. So go ahead and do that. It helps us out a lot. Keeps so much of this free content for you, the Winnipeg sports fan, available to you. You support us, and we'll give you our best. Looking forward to bringing you some Winnipeg Jets hockey coverage a little bit later this week. Really, partnering up with some people and going to bring you some new stuff right now. Slattery saying DB is the third Flutie. So there was Doug, 6-time MOP, Darrin, great receiver. I think he's in the Hall of Fame. And then me, the third Flutie. I don't know, Slats. I don't know. Good friend Joey Slattery, formerly of CTV. Yeah, Rempel. I'm pressing all the wrong buttons like Flutie. You know what I did? I used a keyboard shortcut to refresh a web browser page, but I didn't have the browser selected. I had my streaming software here selected, and it does this thing where it automatically plays a video and mutes my mic every time I switch over to that screensaver. And the only way to fix it, at least I've found the only way to fix it, is to rebuild the screen share page. And don't really want to do that. Have you guys waiting for me while that happens. So at the half, Bombers trailing by 4. And all things considered, probably fortunate to be only trailing 17-13 at the half. So the Argos were forced into 2 2-and-outs and then a 1-minute drive following that Brady Oliveira fumble and Royce Mechie return to near midfield. But Toronto came out in the second half, had their third 2-and-out. Their next possession, 5 plays and a punt. Winnipeg's defense played okay. I know a lot of people are going to criticize a lot of what they saw from the defense tonight. I had some people text in the Bonfire Hotline, where's Willie J? I know he missed a tackle on that big AJ Ouellette run on that first scoring drive for the Argos. Like, he had him dead to rights right at the line of scrimmage, and he got through number 5's arms. You know, a tough one there. A tough one there. But, you know, a guy like Willie Jefferson, you all know out there, if you watch the show, how highly I speak of him. I think he's the best player in the CFL. I still do. Hasn't been maybe the greatest stretch of time for him, at least in the stats. But the type of player he is, I would look out come playoffs. Would not be surprised. I would be surprised if he didn't return to elite form when that happens. Rempel's fired up in the live chat today. I bleed double blue. I don't know. I don't know. That's I used to be called a Ticats lover, right? I'm a big Ticats guy. Now I'm an Argos guy. Guess what? I'm not at any of those things. Yeah, Asham, how do you get a bonfire hat? Working on them. Working on them, Dan. Going to do my best to get those hats made up, but trying to get you guys some hockey. Yeah, Rempel announced the new bonfire hat deal. Wants me to. I like that. Great to see everybody in the live chat. Keep hitting the comments. Keep hitting that thumbs up. Appreciate that a lot. So Winnipeg's defense was okay. A 2-and-out the Argos had to start the second half. A 5-play drive ended with a punt. Winnipeg, they had 2 possessions in the third quarter. One of them, the first, a rare double doink. What's a double doink? What's a doink? Doink is a technical term. I've said that for a long time, back to the 1290 days here in Winnipeg. A doink is when a field goal attempt hits the upright. That's a doink. What's a double doink? Well, what happened to Sergio Castillo tonight from 52 yards out? Hits the right upright, hits the crossbar, doink, doink, double doink. His only miss tonight. Castillo was dang good. He followed it up later in the third quarter with an 45-yard field goal to bring the Bombers to within 2. 18-16 at that point. It was an 8-play, 45-yard drive, and again, the Bombers had possession for nearly 5 minutes. If there's anything you can look back on this game and say, the Bombers were good in this area, it's that they played ball control. And Brady Oliveira going off for, a whack load of yards again, obviously a big reason why. Getting a text here from Schnitzy. Where is the man? Says he's a few minutes away. So he'll join us soon. We'll get the fans' perspective from wherever he is at the Madhouse, wherever he is at IG Field. Everett left hitting the live chat. Haven't seen you in the live chat before. What's going on, Everett? Welcome. I'm not sure how, but they need to target Dembski more and Lawler less. Schoen, Wolodarski, Bailey, and Dembski do damage against an Argos D. Lawler, not so much a factor, says Everett. I like that comment. I think they would love to get the ball into everybody's hands more. That's an easy thing to say, right? What makes Kenny Lawler so good is his route running ability, his catch radius, his stickiness. The guy's hands are out of this world. Quantez Stiggers was a blanket on Kenny Lawler. And when Stiggers intercepted Zach Collaros tonight, it was Quantez Stiggers. And he was guarding at that time, not Kenny Lawler at the boundary. He was guarding Dalton Schoen as the Bombers rotated, as they always do, as every team often does, rotated their receivers to different positions, and Schoen moving out to that boundary spot, Stiggers all over him. Quantez Stiggers is a baller, man. That guy is going to be a CFL All-Star, no question. He's got my vote. Big and physical, man. Great cover skills, great size to speed, great feet, and he showed tonight great hands as well. But that was a big reason why Kenny Lawler wasn't able to do too much tonight. Here it is. And forgive the audio glitch as I do this. unmute my mic, stop that silly music, and here is the Collaros interception, targeting Dalton Schoen at the boundary, and Stiggers with the interception. Let's take another look at it.
Are good at doing their jobs to help people put them in position.
Like, what an athletic play. What an athletic play for Qantas Stiggers. 21 years old. Hey, Bruce Martell, good to see you in the live chat, Bruce. Bruce mentioning Stiggers, just 21 years old, playing, 6th game. You're right. Likely be in the NFL next year. Go Long in the live chat says, no pressure on a rookie quarterback again. Need to do better. The Bombers defense. Hit the live chat. Let me know what you guys think. Does the Bombers' D-line need to do better? They need more pressure on a quarterback? I mean, I want people to understand this. There is no debate in 2023 who has the best offensive line in the CFL. There's no debate. It's the Toronto Argonauts. Their O-line is so good. They have allowed, I think, I could check my notes, but it's something like they've allowed 2 sacks in their last 6 games. Incredible. It's really incredible. Tonight, let's take a look at the Blue Bombers defensive numbers. Here, let's pull it up here. No sacks. Nope, no sacks. It was Kyrie Wilson who led the way with 6 tackles. Here, I'll pull this up so you guys can see a little bit better. I know it's a lot of ones and zeros. It's like a digital. A lot of ones and zeros because that's tackles for loss and tackles for loss and quarterback sacks, all zeros. But Kyrie Wilson, 6 defensive tackles. Adam Bighill with 5. Evan Holm had 1 on special teams, a big one. Also got in on the return game in the opening kickoff on that reverse. Dietrich Nichols with a pair of tackles and a fumble recovery. Willie J, I mean, people saying Willie Jefferson's not getting to the quarterback. Well, he forced a huge fumble tonight. A game changer, you could say. And well. Who do we have here? Can you hear him? I think we can hear him. Let's bring him in.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes. How are you, Schnitzy? Good to see you, man.
Phew! What
I'm
was
gonna fix
that?
up your camera. What did you see tonight? Tell us about the atmosphere at IG Field.
It was like, even though we sold out, it was a little bit stale for a while, Darrin.
Yeah.
Because we were wondering what's happening here. We're playing against a backup quarterback. What is it with us and giving, life to backup quarterbacks, like starting the career of backup quarterbacks? Dustin Crum, Jake Dolegala, who's the guy? Taylor Powell. And then Cameron Dukes ran through us like a hot knife through butter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The
First
Bombers have to play Trey Ford in a couple weeks.
I'm a little frightened for that one because they struggle against a running quarterback. Mm-hmm. And you could see in the first couple drives, Dukes was extending plays with his legs, and it made it look easy. Thank goodness he took most of the second half off, or some of the second half off, I should say.
Right.
And then our kick coverage, again, letting leak out through the side. Come on. Letting Javon leak out through the side. Or through the middle.
So Peter, amongst others in the live chat, says, hey, Zach, straighten out DB on the Argo love. I get called, a Tie Cat lover. Now I'm an Argo lover. Look, I'm not a fan of the Blue Bombers. I'm not a fan. I'm a fan of the game. I'm a fan of the league. I'm a fan of football. But I'm an objective perspective. This guy right here.
I'm not objective, and I'm not a fan of the Argos, but they looked good. That was, I wouldn't say it was their B team or their AHL team, as someone said on Twitter.
No.
He wasn't
Like
their
no
farm
Winton
teammate.
McManus, no
No Sean
no Chris
Oakman.
Peters, right?
Sean Oakman wasn't
No
dressed.
Chad Kelly,
Chad
of course.
Kelly. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they've got some guys on the injured list, but the Argos are a good team, man. That O
They're a
line,
very good team.
they've got a player or two, a starter or two on the injured list as well. But this is the best O line in the league. I was just saying that before you joined. It is by far the best offensive
Well,
line in the league. They
we
pass
had,
protect
I think we had
incredibly
0
well.
sacks.
They run block incredibly well.
Yeah.
So, for those that thought this was going to be an easy game for Winnipeg, I think it was foolhardy. The line in this game was 3.5. It moved to 7.5 when the reporting of Matthew Schnitzer came out on Tuesday, I think it was, that he wasn't going to play. And that, it moved to 7.5. Well, Winnipeg ends up winning by 10, but it didn't look like that. Was there anxiety in the stands?
Yes. Probably because of me. I was anxious. I mean, because even like had Cameron Duke stayed in that game, we would have been in trouble.
Yeah.
We basically eked our way back because the Argos couldn't do anything on offense. And they had 7 points in the second half. And Ouellette didn't stay in the game either. I know McMahon is a highly touted sort of youngster, but Ouellette is a different kind of runner. I mean, he had what it was a 30-yard run in the first quarter. I mean, yeah, people were nervous. People were quiet. But then, once we went up 25-21, I think the fans kind of knew that the game was over at that point because the defenses started stepping up. But yeah, I was nervous. Fans were nervous. They were quiet, kind of on bated breath,
Mm-hmm.
because this was a huge game for the standings. BC's playing Saskatchewan tonight. BC should probably win.
Yeah, I think they're up 12-3 right now. They're just showing a highlight. So they pulled, 12-8. The Lions currently lead the Rough Riders in Vancouver with under 2 minutes remaining in the first half. So we'll keep a close eye on that. The Lions, of course, 10-4. Winnipeg now 11-4 following their victory over Toronto tonight. Argos fall to 12-2 in a game, didn't have a lot of meaning, but they played like it had a lot of meaning. I want to pull that comment up again. I just had, well, of course, James wants to know, is your knee okay?
Knee is much better, thank you. I've been doing my physio, been
Attaboy.
icing it, been taking my aspirin, taking my Advil. It's coming back. I didn't have cause to do a Schnitzer stair climb today. There wasn't something that really jumped out that salted the game away that I felt like warranted a stair climb, Darrin, and Firestarters. But maybe next time.
Yeah.
Maybe next time.
So Jason, I was mentioning earlier, pretty fired up in the live chat. Is this an Argos after show? Well, this is the reality. T-Kona Pauly, what's going on, Pauly? What's up, Pyro? Good to see you, brother. Unfortunately, the Argos, says T-Kona Pauly, may have surpassed the Blue Bombers at this point and will be a tough out in the Grey Cup.
Yeah.
That's the reality. The Argos have a very, very good football team. They got a good number 2 quarterback, just like the Bombers have. They have a great offensive line, like the Bombers have, traditionally had. It's
Well, and they got to the quarterback tonight. I don't know how many sacks they had, Darrin. You probably went over the numbers already, but it looked like they were pressuring Colares quite a bit. Our downfield pass up to snuff, I don't think. Their secondary. I mean, I was listening to you guys the pregame with Walby, Darrin, and Walby was talking about how the Argos allow the least amount of yards against the run, but against the pass, they're 8th in the league. Well, it was almost the opposite tonight. Brady Oliveira had 169 yards on the ground and 25 carries, but the Argos secondary looked phenomenal. They were knocking balls away. They were breaking up passes. They were really tried to take Kenny Lawler out of the game. Luckily, we have shown who you take a Lawler out of the game, you still have a receiver over 100 yards and Dalton Schoen. But wow, I thought the Argos secondary was impressive. But I know this isn't an Argos podcast. It's not an Argos show, so we don't want to give too many props to them. No one's going to accuse me of being an Argos fan.
anybody accuses me of being a fan, they're not paying attention, right? I've covered this league objectively for over a decade now. I don't pledge allegiance or even secretly pledge allegiance. Um, Darius Pickett playing the dime back, the strong side linebacker spot, leads the CFL in defensive plays. He had a special teams tackle, 4 more on defense. Was very, very good. Jones, is it Jonathan Jones? He had 7 tackles, and Jordan Williams, the Canadian, former MOC in the CFL, as a member of the BC Lions, stepping in for Wynton McManus, who is injured or getting some time off. He led the game with 8 total tackles. Um, you know,
Oh, DB, your audio is really quiet.
if they deserve some ink, as they say in the newspaper game, you give them the ink. The Argos are a good football team. Winnipeg, I think it's good that they won, because it is a little bit of a feather in their hat that they were able to push late and make it happen. But what did you think about Brian Scott coming in for Toronto? And I ask that because does that take a little bit of the shine off of Winnipeg's 10-point victory that, QB3 came in, and Toronto definitely took their foot off the gas, I would say.
DB, your audio is really quiet for some reason.
How is it now?
Still quiet. We can't hear your beautiful voice. No, still quiet.
We'll get it straightened out.
Let's straighten it out. I was glad he came into the game. Honestly, Darrin, like the Argos have a really deep team. I don't feel like there's any shine off winning. We won the game. That's all I wanted. We won by 2 scores.
Right.
If Brady doesn't lose the ball there late in the first half, that was a 6-point swing, so it would have been 34-18, an even bigger spread there. We covered the spread, and I put 20 big ones down on SIA.com. 7.5. We won by 10. Great. I was very happy. Steve and David were making fun of me there because at one point I'm like, hey, we covered the spread. It was 28-21. And Steve says, I know math isn't your strong suit, Schnitzy, but really, come on, buddy. No, I was frankly relieved when they put Brian Scott in because we needed this game so badly. I don't care how they win. I think most fans would agree. We just want to win. I mean, we want it. Like, when it comes down to it, you want that first round bye. You need that first round bye. We're really neck and neck with BC, and so I think it was really, really important that we win. And it doesn't feel like a hollow victory to me, although it makes me a little bit scared of Toronto and what they could do if they play their starters, because they had us handled with a number of backups at chief amongst them at the quarterback position, which is the most important position.
How's my audio now?
It's still quiet. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I had the wrong.
Your mic is messing with you.
I got Old Faithful here plugged in now, but
I don't know. Firestarters, what do you think? I mean, I don't think it's a hollow victory. I don't care. I'm just glad we won, and we won by 10. We covered the spread. We won like in the same with the spread that we should have won. I don't know. It doesn't feel hollow to me.
Nor should it. Nor should it.
We beat a good team.
Jumping around microphones here. Having issues, man. Okay.
Well, it fixed for a second there, but now it's
Yeah. How is it now? I'll just use the
old. There we go, big
hot.
guy.
Hot. Mike is hot. Hot mic.
Oh, those dulcet tones. Tones.
I'm using the laptop microphone now, so hopefully there isn't too much of an echo. Anyway, I mean, does it take? I think it maybe takes a little bit of shine off the victory. If you had to measure the bragging rights, like let's say 3 Argos and 3 Bombers are sitting in the bar having some suds, and one guy on defense, one on offense, one on special teams from each team, and they're jawing at each other in a friendly way. I think the Argos probably have the upper hand right now as far as bragging rights, and it's not just a Grey Cup thing. They're 12-2. They played their number 2 quarterback and took it to Winnipeg, in Winnipeg. And, Winton McManus, maybe the best linebacker in the CFL, out. Chad Kelly, East Division MOP frontrunner, out. Cam Phillips, out. They came to play. They played really, really well. And I think maybe that's a good thing, because when the Bombers are an underdog, when the Bombers are overlooked, don't you think it brings out the best in them?
If the Bombers are overlooked?
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
if
I
they're,
think
scrappy underdog, back against the wall sort of thing.
yeah, I think anything that makes the Bombers angry is probably a good thing. They seem to need it this year. I don't know. Do they need to be angry? Do they need something to piss them off? Do they need someone to be a burr in their saddle for them to get up for games? Because they frankly started out pretty slow. Knowing they're coming up against Toronto's backups, I thought they would have been more up for this game, but they
Uh,
didn't seem to be. It took them a while to get going.
you think they started slow? I mean,
I
touchdown
do.
drive. I think Toronto just maybe brought more of a fight than Winnipeg was expecting, right? Like 73-yard drive, 2 big AJ Ouellette plays on that first drive. Javon Leake with a big return after Winnipeg, punted 4 plays. Coxey, 46-yard catch and run, breaking tackles. Dukes takes off 5 yards out, scores a 38-second touchdown drive to go up 14-7. You know, uh, Winnipeg kept coming, but I think Toronto just brought a game. They brought a game to Winnipeg. And there was a lot of talk this week, right? A lot of talk this week about, like, well, people are pissed off that the Argos aren't starting Chad Kelly. You don't think the Argos have heard that? You don't think they knew about that? I think they were really up for this game to show people we can win without our number 1.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I don't know if the offense came out flat, but I feel like the defense was just owned in the first couple of drives, which which surprised
Chunk
me.
plays.
Which
Chunk plays,
surprised
right?
me.
Ouellette, chunk play run, chunk play catch, scores. Leak, a special teams chunk play, 48-yard return. Coxey, 46-yard catch and run. That made it 14-7, right? But then Winnipeg forced a Toronto 2-and-out, and then another Toronto 2-and-out after Kolaris was nearly intercepted. A Toronto offside negated it. Costigan sacked Kolaris, and then Castillo's field goal made it 14-13. Early-ish in the second quarter, mid second quarter. But then another Toronto 2-and-out. And if it wasn't for that Oliveira fumble that Mechie returned 35 yards to the
That
Toronto
was huge.
44, that was huge.
That was a
Huge
massive
play.
6-point swing because they
Yeah,
ended up
where
getting a field goal on that.
where Winnipeg forced 2-and-outs, and then that happens, and it's like, okay, we got to get back out onto the field. 6 plays, 54 yards, 56 seconds. And they get Boris Beatty within field goal range. They're on the doorstep. But as time expired in the first half, 19-yard field goal to make it a 4-point ball game. Then Toronto, another 2-and-out from Winnipeg. They forced the Argos to begin the second half. And then a 5-play drive from Toronto, forcing them to punt. Then another Boris Beatty field goal from 32 yards. So they allowed a bit of a drive there. I don't have drive numbers on that one. But then it gets into the point where Toronto's defense started making plays, and that Quantez Stiggers interception at the 52, at the Toronto 52, was a huge, huge play. It was just amazing how Winnipeg was able to get it right back as McMahon fumbled, Jefferson with the forced
Jefferson
fumble.
stripped him. Yeah,
Yeah,
we needed that. Let me tell you, it was
yeah,
about time for the defense to make a statement there. We
yeah.
needed a turnover.
Yeah, and then Dietrich Nichols returns it 5 yards to the Toronto 52, and then Winnipeg unable to, it was a Brady Oliveira 12-yard run, and then a couple incompletions, a real quick 4-play 12-yard drive. Just that one Brady Oliveira 12-yard run, but at least getting the ball back put them in position for Castillo to hit from 48 yards. Kept it a 2-point ball game. So then Brian Scott comes in. So really, that's kind of where the game, I would say, figuratively ended. Figuratively, not literally,
Yeah.
obviously. But Brian Scott comes in, another 2 and out. So outside of some big plays, I think Winnipeg's defense played okay. I really do. Then Winnipeg puts together just a clock dominating 6-minute, 43-second drive, 12 plays, 79 yards. They failed the 2-point following Dakota Prukop's 6th touchdown of the season. This was a 2-yard run off the right tackle. And then another Toronto 2 and out. And then Cameron Dukes comes back in, 3 plays and a turnover on downs. So where did Winnipeg's defense really falter outside of 3 possessions that Toronto was able to put together?
Yeah, the rest of the game they did pretty well, but they were playing against a third stringer at that point.
Well, at that
But
point,
at that
yeah,
point, yeah, I mean, it's interesting because the time of possession in this game was astronomically in favor of the Bombers, almost 20 more minutes.
yeah,
I've rarely seen something like that before. But it was a
yeah.
testament to the quick strikeability of the Argos, and then sort of how the Bombers just put together drive after drive, long drive after long drive, um, and probably would have should have had more points if not for the Brady fumble. But which, by the way, Sard is saying this, and I wonder about that. A lot of the fans were saying that he was down before the ball came out, but reviewed it without O'Shea having to challenge it, and
Yeah.
apparently the ball was out. But anyway, I just the Bombers marched up and down the field, but it was so many field goals and field goal and field goal and a missed field goal and a fumble, and they really you'd think they would have scored more points than they did.
Yeah, I think if you have to put a knock on Winnipeg, it was the offense's inability um to capitalize with sixes, right?
Yeah.
Um Here, just looking at some of the team stat numbers in this game. Winnipeg had
Wow.
28 first downs to Toronto's 13. Okay.
Look at that second down conversion number.
Yep. Outstanding.
Wow.
More than 2/3 of the time, 19 of 28 on second down, and 100% on third down. I mean, Winnipeg's short yardage package is outstanding. Um,
Well, and it was a lot of the second downs were short, short like second and short because Brady Oliveira was just churning out first down yardage. It was incredible. A
yep.
lot of second and 2, second and 3, second and 1, second and inches.
But 2 of 5 in the red zone, the Blue Bombers were. One, of course, was the Oliveira fumble. Just unable to truly capitalize, right? Look at the offensive plays. 69. Nice. 69 offensive plays for the Bombers to 39 for the
Yeah,
Argos.
crazy.
Average gain here. I'm going to get rid of this logo. Average gain. Well, Toronto didn't have the ball as much, but they did their damage when they did have the ball. But look at net offense. Winnipeg put together 443 yards of net offense. They had a touchdown on their first possession, and they had a touchdown midway through the fourth quarter. That's it. They were moving the ball, but Toronto was just that bend don't break, you know?
Yeah.
uh, to 299 net offense, which I think 300 net offense in the CFL is pretty good defensive performance overall. Special teams. What did you see from the special teams tonight, Zach? Where Winnipeg, a lot of Bomber fans, I would say almost all Bomber fans are watching really closely right now.
Well, I mean, again, you had a couple of big returns from Leak, which was disappointing to see, especially now that Teodric Hansen is in. I think Bomber fans are really sick of seeing these big play returns game after game. Now, they cleaned it up as the game went on, but, we only punted once, and it was kind of a sidewinder from Sheehan, which I thought was pretty good, actually. It was I think about a 48-yard punt. or 47-yard punt. So that was good. Castillo's kickoffs they look short, but on net yardage, they're pretty good. They're almost like 67, 68 yards, right up there with Beatty, who has maybe had about 69, 70 yards. But the field goals, I thought Castillo was right on. I mean, he missed one, like he was 6 of 7, which is pretty darn good. 6 of 7. You know who else was 6 of 7? Justin Medlock in the 2019 Grey Cup game, right? Like he missed on a 52-yarder, and he barely missed. It hit the post, and then it hit the crossbar and bounced out.
Double doink.
Right, a double doink, like an inch the other way. He's 7 of 7. So I thought Castillo was really, really solid today. And then Jamal Parker, I thought, actually had a decent day. They had some not trick plays. The Bombers would never call them that, but they had a couple of reverses on kickoff and my kickoff returns in the first quarter, which I appreciated. Evan Holm had one, and I think I don't know who had the other one, who he gave it to, but maybe it was to Parker, actually. I don't know who caught it, but anyway, those were interesting. I thought it was nice to mix that up a little bit. So I thought the special teams overall was pretty darn good.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I think it's a work in progress, and good to see Janarian Grant running a little bit at practice. I mean, he ran in practice this week, just, like from what I saw from Jeff Hamilton's video he took of Grant running, similar to what I saw with my own eyes 2-3 weeks ago. So, I mean, he's ready. He's readying for a return. I won't say ready for a return, because that would mean he's ready to return. He's readying for a return, which I think is positive news.
Yeah.
Like, do the Bombers need him to win in BC next week? No, they don't need him to win in BC.
Wait till he's 100%.
Yeah, and the Lions right now are up by 8 at home to the Rough Riders. Some people mentioned in the live chat, funny to be
cheering for the Riders.
Yeah.
I'm cheering for the Riders. I don't find it funny. I'm disgusted with myself.
Well, if there was a year to cheer for the Riders, why not cheer for them in a
evil.
year where they kind of stink, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're 6-8, whatever. Let them win and help us out because actually, if they win and we win next week, I think we lock up the West Division. If we go to 12-4 and the Lions lose tonight, they'd be 10-6, I believe. And with the tiebreaker to Winnipeg, I believe that would lock up the West Division. I may be wrong on that.
Because the Lions right now are 10-4, and Winnipeg's 11-4.
Right.
So if BC loses tonight, they're winning by 8 at the half.
I understand. They're probably not going to lose.
Say Saskatchewan gets victory number 7 on the season. They're 6-8. But let's say the Riders win. BC's 10-5. Winnipeg is 11-4. And then that game next week is even bigger, because it would tie them again for first place and give the Lions the season series, right?
But
because they're split right now. This is what you call a rubber match. The rubber match isn't the second of 2 meetings. The third game is the rubber match.
Isn't there also something called a rubber match, like a type of match that's made out of rubber? No,
like
an underwater
for
match
survivalists.
Yeah. That's another kind of rubber. No, rubber match, not rubber. Okay, let's get back on track here, buddy.
A rubber match. What?
A rubber match. Stress on the match. Anyway, but I think if BC loses tonight, thank you.
You're welcome.
If BC loses tonight and they go to 10-5, and we beat them next week, I think that locks up the West. Because then we're 2 games ahead of them with the game in hand and only 2 games remaining.
Let me pull up my handy dandy CFL schedule here.
Right.
The Lions, Sask tonight, Winnipeg next week, and then BC they're in Hamilton October 13th, home to Calgary on October 20th, and then they have a bye the final week of the regular season. So, Winnipeg, of course, BC next week, Then their third bye in week 19. Then October 21st, they are home to Edmonton. October 27th, in Calgary to wrap the regular season. The West semifinal and the East semifinal is on Saturday this year, November 4th. And then the West final and the East final, Saturday this year, November
Smart.
11th. And then the Grey Cup
Smart.
110th Canadian Championship in Hamilton on Sunday, as always, tradition, truly, November 19th. Bonfire Sports will be there, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
right.
I'll be there too. I don't know yet. I don't know
Okay.
yet.
All
If the
right. I'm
Bombers
holding you
are
to
in it,
that.
I'll consider it. We'll
I'm
see.
holding you to that.
Okay.
Great to see everybody in the live chat, by the way. We got well over 100 people watching live, thousands watch afterwards on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and LinkedIn. Listen to the podcast. If you throw everybody in together, thousands of Bombers fans watch and listen every single week. Just want to thank you all out there for watching and listening and supporting us. Do what you can to support the channel. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, or consider subscribing. Maybe one of the best things you can do is tell your friends, tell your family, let people know that we're doing live pregame and postgame shows here, as well as Bonfire Midweek. You and I get it going every Wednesday night. Generally, we stick to Wednesdays, if not Tuesday, but Wednesdays 7:30 here on the channel, and got Winnipeg Jets hockey coverage coming soon too. So really glad to be part of this digital media landscape, sports media here in Winnipeg with Hustler and Remo and Kenny and Rennie, great friends of mine, a legal curve, fellas I've known for a long, long time, good friends.
Except for that
We
Drew
appreciate your
Mindell.
support.
He's a
Hey,
hoser, that Drew Mindell. He doesn't know what he's doing.
oh, you got a thing for Drew, eh? You guys
No.
rivals?
No, not at all. I those guys have been doing this for. I just like to tease him. He's a great dude.
Yeah,
I just like to tease
part
him.
of the
No, they've
tribe.
been yes, definitely part of the tribe. We got to stick together.
Mm-hmm.
We got to say. I was saying something on my seat to my buddy who I brought, who's also Jewish, and I made a joke about Jews, and one guy turned around and looked at me, and I'm like, oh shit, he thinks I'm an anti-Semite. I wanted to tap on the shoulder and say like, hey, dude, I'm Jewish. Like, come on, it's okay, but that seemed to. I think that would have made it even worse. So
I'm a
I
bit of
just
an
don't.
anti-dentite.
You're an anti-dentite,
A little bit, yeah.
are you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got
Well,
issues.
your teeth look good.
I got
Your hair
problems.
looks good. Your beard looks good. Your teeth look good.
Dude, it's the
Even
Seinfeld
Walby was
reference.
commenting on your hair and beard.
Yeah, I know. People, I got it a little, it's pretty, I got it pretty high and tight. I got it
Saint
pretty high and
at
tight.
Saint. I
Yeah,
gotta go to Saint.
yeah, that's right. Brady Oliveira gets his hair cut there.
Brady and
Nick
uh,
Ehlers.
Nick Ehlers and what's the
Oh, Carl Schmitz.
Carl Schmitz from Belgium or no, not Belgium,
Bermuda.
Bermuda,
Mm-hmm.
Schmitz,
Yeah, I had
the other
one
Schmitz.
one stylist at Saints said he doesn't look 40. And I'm like, well, if you're a pro athlete and you're living in the Caribbean, you probably don't look 40. You probably look
Probably
a
don't
lot
even look
younger.
30.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, go check them
uh,
out. wearesaint.com. Good friends of mine there, and we're working on maybe doing a fundraiser together
ooh,
this coming winter with Nick Ehlers. So stay tuned for that. Good thing
that'd
for
be fun.
charity that we're gonna get together. Let's get into it,
Let's do it.
Schnitzy. This is my favorite part of the show. Walby's Warrior, Westwood's Wide to the Right, the Happy Honker, the Bonfire Burning Point, Game Balls. Where do you want to start?
Yep.
We always
I
start
will.
with the W's.
Yeah, Walby's Warrior, I think, is where we usually start. And I will give it to Jamal Parker.
You stole it from me.
Ah, sorry, buddy. I thought you were going to give it to someone on the Argos.
Oh, well done. Well done. Here, this is just for you.
Oh,
Great joke, Schnitzy.
ah, anyway, you know what? Peter D. Anyway, I'm going to give it to Jamal Parker. I thought he's been much maligned in terms of his lack of returnability, and I thought tonight he had a good game returning. Um, you probably talked about the stats before I came on, but I thought just the eye test, he looked pretty good. He had one big return that was taken back because of penalty, which was unfortunate, but it was nice to, and he did, and he caused late in the fourth quarter. He caused a 15 yards no yards penalty, and I mean, those are important too, right? Like, it means he had to be aggressive and come up on the ball, with a bunch of Argos surrounding him. I think there was a couple of Argos within the 5 yard halo, and I thought
Yeah.
he was aggressive there and caught the ball cleanly, which was excellent. And maybe he just doesn't quite have the speed that Janarian Grant has, but most people don't have the speed that Janarian Grant has. He tries to take it outside and he can't quite get there. Whereas Janarian Grant can take it outside or get it right up the middle, and he's so fast and fearless. He'll just run through holes like crazy. So, but yeah, Wallabies Warrior was Jamal Parker for me. You can second that if you want, or give it to an Argo.
I'm not going to give it to an Argo.
All right.
I'm not going to give it to an Argo. If you're giving it to Parker, well, I'll give it to Brady. I mean, we give it to Brady a lot
Yeah, how can you not?
through the weeks this season here on Game Day After Dark, but we'll give it to Brady. The kid is special, man. He can take over games, it seems. When you're averaging 6.8 yards per carry for 169 yards, and like, it's not like he ripped off a 60-yard run and that like makes
No,
it six,
right.
his large, Zach,
Thank you.
his large was 16 yards.
That's it. Oh
Yeah.
my God. That's
He
just
had 10
consistent
runs.
pummeling.
Yeah. Sorry. He had 4 runs of 10 plus yards, but
Wow.
along a 16. So it was just punishing football. It was just punishing runs, getting through that first line to the second level and making the linebackers and the DBs pay, because he runs so dang hard and finishes runs. He chipped in 2 catches for 12 yards. So every time he touched the ball, he averaged over 6 yards a time. Had
That's
that
crazy.
touchdown as well.
That's like just the consistency that takes, and just hammering away at a defense, like especially a defense that had allowed the least rush yards.
Hmm.
Brady on that O line just came to play and just pummeling away at them, hammering the nail again and again and again. Just love that.
Yep, agreed. I like this. Waiters. Schnitzy versus Drew Mindell. Hell in a cell.
Well, the only thing I have over Drew is I have more hair.
Oh, you had to go there.
Well, that's all I got, buddy.
That's a
That's all I
cheap
got.
shot.
This guy is polished host of a very successful show for what, 12 years now? I'm
Oh,
just a
more than
young
that.
pup.
More than
More
that.
than 15 years?
Yep, because it goes all the way back to Kick FM at
Oh,
Red River
right.
College.
Oh my God. No, I'm just a young pup in the game, and just, riding your coattails here, Darren.
Oh yeah, okay, sure.
Just
You just
riding your
hang out with me
coattails.
because I'll let you like ask questions of Jamarcus Hardrick as you fawn over him.
I get to talk to Jamarcus Hardrick and Kyrie Wilson and Drew Wolatarski. By
Hmm.
the way, who Kyrie Wilson, did he get the bonfire bump? I don't know. He was offside once, but that was kind of comical. He almost fell forward.
Yeah, he fell. Yeah, he fell
He
offside.
fell down, but
Yeah,
he had a decent. He always has a decent game.
yeah.
Sure, he gets the
Uh,
bonfire bump.
Speaking of which, Westwood's wide to the right. The moment in this game that just wasn't good.
Yeah, the one I didn't like was that Parker finally gets a big return, and it's negated by penalty. A special teams penalty, an illegal block. Come on, Bombers. Give the guy some love. Don't take a penalty when he finally breaks one. I think it was like a 45 yarder too, Darren.
Yeah,
It was
Bruce Martell.
unfortunate.
Yeah, top commenter, by the
Yeah.
way, whether he's watching live or afterwards, Bruce Martell comments all the time. Appreciate all the comments, Bruce. Thank you. Join Bruce. Comment if you're watching this afterwards, because I know like hundreds and hundreds of you are watching this on YouTube afterwards. So hit the comments, ask a question, give us your hot take. That's what the bonfire is about. Gather round
Gather
and
round.
fire it up. Scott Roger, good to see you, my friend. We'll see you Sunday. Rifles.
Rifle
host.
up, baby.
Yeah, Rifles host the Edmonton Huskies. They beat the Edmonton Wildcats 39-0 last week. Now we
Whew.
got a Sunday. That was a night game. Now we got a Sunday game. I'll be calling that on cjfltv.com. It is pay-per-view if you want to tune in. Help support minor football here. Well, really across the prairies. Hoping DeMary Houston's okay for next week, says Josh Wolf. Yeah, no doubt about that.
Yeah, what'd you see on what did you was that on TV that
I
you, well,
didn't
no, you weren't
see
there by
anything.
then, right?
And John asking, is there any update on Houston's injury? No, no, never will there be. But it's how the Blue Bombers handle things. So maybe we'll find out when they return to practice. Well, let me see. They are in BC, so walkthrough be Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, maybe Monday. Maybe Monday we'll get an update. Probably Tuesday for the health status of the CFL interception leader, Demario Houston. My Westwood wide to the right. Ugh. I don't know. I don't know if I got one.
You don't got one.
I don't know if I got one. Can I go for two instead of kicking the convert?
Yeah, you can go for two.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here, look. My favorite one. You know it's my favorite one. Happy
Ding
Honker
dong.
Award in homage of the late great Cactus Jack Wells of CJOB. The moment that brought me joy, I mean, maybe it could be your Westwood wide to the right, because it actually was the double doink. I love
Double
the double
doink.
doink.
The
So
doink.
rare.
Yeah, it is rare.
I am an Argos lover, right? So of course I'm gonna love
Yeah, you
the
just love that double
mm,
doink that took points
yeah,
off the board.
yeah.
Just love
What
that.
was your happy honker tonight, Zach? Is it, maybe we should give you an honorary happy honker for having knee surgery 2 weeks ago to the day, nearly.
Nearly.
And well, to the day, yeah, exactly. 2 weeks to the day, and you're
Yeah.
running the stairs, man.
Well, I didn't run the stairs today, but I could have. I could have. My knee was good enough that I could have run the stairs, buddy. But I actually do have a happy honker. I think this one was pretty obvious to me. The thousand Indigenous fans they brought in from northern
Mm,
communities on the Truth and Reconciliation
well done.
game, that was awesome. They were really into it the entire, even though it was kind of a snooze fest for part of the game, they were really into it the entire game. So that was awesome. And they had an Indigenous woman singing the national anthem in Cree, which was really well done. And the crowd still found a way to say blue when she said free in Cree. They figured it out when she was saying, and True North. Some people even said the True North,
Yeah, I don't
even though
get
they
that
didn't.
at Bombers games.
I
I don't
don't
get
I
it.
don't get it either, but it was cute to
Yeah.
hear it in this one. Um, there were some jiggers there. It was great. They had great entertainment
Did you hear head official Ben Major call that first penalty in Cree? Or
no, I
sorry,
didn't.
Ojibwe? I think he did it in Ojibwe.
No way.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
When
Yeah,
I
they
first
get my
heard it, I'm
happy
like, okay,
honker.
that's not English, French. And then they mentioned it on the broadcast. And I was like, that's
Oh
awesome.
wow,
Yeah,
that's
called an
cool.
offside, I think. First penalty of the game.
Wow, very
Yeah.
good, very good. Yeah, no, uh that was definitely my happy honker.
Beth, great to see you in the live chat. Haven't
Beth,
seen you here before. What's going on, Beth?
Beth, hello, welcome.
Everybody out there, if you haven't hit the live chat before, give it a shot. I ran into some fans with you, Schnitzy, at the Banjo Bowl Prairie Rivalry Bash at
Yes,
Finn McCool's, and fans being like, "Oh yeah, I watch your show, but I don't comment. I just kind of lurk." And I'm like, "You can lurk. You can lurk."
lurking's okay.
Jeremy Ediger, old pal, old college pal, Kick FM days at Red River. He lurks and then he jumps in and he comments. Wide to the right goes the Argos player crying outside their locker room after the game. Okay, I
What?
there must have been something going on.
There were Argos players crying outside their
Well,
locker
there
room
was
for
one.
really?
Well, that's what he says.
Who's
I
that?
believe Jeremy, reputable individual.
Okay,
Good to see you, Jer.
fair share.
Uh, yeah, yeah. Comet running radio back in the day. Okay, so Walby, Westy, Happy Honker, your bonfire burning point. Can I just tell you what it is?
Condescending smart ass. Can I
Go
just
ahead.
tell you what it actually is, Zach? Let me
Go
just
ahead.
tell you what's real here. I think it's fairly I mean, I would hope, at least unless I'm completely out to lunch, I think anybody would have the same bonfire burning point. But you go ahead. Tell me what it is.
uh, well, look, pretty cut and dry. The Quantez Stiggers interception
Ugh.
early in the fourth quarter,
Yeah.
followed by 2 plays later, like a McMahon 6-yard run, and then McMahon stripped by Willie
Yeah.
Jefferson,
Yeah.
recovered by Dietrich Nichols, and then Winnipeg goes down and takes their first lead of the game, 21-19, on a 48-yard Sergio Castillo field goal. Then in came Brian Scott. Winnipeg takes their first lead since the opening possession where they went up 7-0. And then Toronto brings in QB3. Goes back to what we said earlier about, taking the shine off. Do you agree as the burning point?
Well, the only thing is, I'm not sure if that's when we took the lead. I think we were still down by 2 at that point, 21-19.
Oh, you're
I,
right.
th- I
Oh,
think
you're right.
we
Oh,
only,
flag on the play. That's my second one. It's my
oh,
second
3
flag today.
flags and you're out, buddy.
Yeah, well, then you're going to be
But you
solo.
know what? At that point, though, I think it is still the burning point, and it was the one I was going to pick anyway, even if it wasn't to take the lead, because the third stringer comes in, and you kind of figure at that point with the way the game was going, the way they were rolling. I think that strip of McMahon was huge, and then they go 2 and out, and then I think that is the drive where they take the lead. So whatever. Um, I still think that's the burning point.
Yep, agreed. You got a game ball, or you got about a dozen, or
I
what?
got a couple of game balls. I got one game ball. I'm gonna give like 1,000 game balls. One game ball I'll give to Brady Oliveira. 169 yards. Is that his biggest rushing total ever in a game? I think it might be. I mean,
I'd have to
you,
look.
you look at time of possession. We almost had, what was it? They had 16 something and we had 37 something. Like
It was
those aren't the exact
disgusting.
numbers, but like
It was
the
disgusting.
only way you have that massive difference in time of possession is if you're just running the ball like that consistently.
Mhm.
Uh 4 carries of 10 plus yards, right? It's not like there was an outlier of like 50 yards. It was just pounding it again and again and again.
Pardon me.
And you wear a team down, you control the clock, and you have massive time possession. I think time possession is a huge predictor of wins, and they won. I know it wasn't against the ones, it wasn't even against the twos for the Argos, but still, they still won.
Look,
Brady
like the
also
whole
had
thing, the
two.
whole thing about like the ones and the twos and this and that, like it's football. Every team, every week 1, week 21,
Yeah,
semifinal, Grey Cup. There's players in and out, right?
they're all good players at this level.
Yep,
I know it's not the NFL. I know it's the CFL, but awesome, these are all awesome
yep.
talented players. So Brady gets one game ball, 169 yards on the ground, 6.7, I believe you said average, which is crazy. He had 2 catches for 12 yards and a touchdown, 181 total yards. And then Castillo, he had 6 field goals. A couple of them from long range, and he almost had the 52, except for the double doink. So I'm going to give him a game ball, and I'll give it, I don't know if a game ball, but honorable mention to Willie Jefferson. There was this sort of narrative of he hadn't had a sack in 7 games after that hot start. Well, he had a strip, he had a fumble, forced fumble today, which was massive. It was our burning point. It really turned
Yep.
the game in the Bombers' favor, and I think if he doesn't get a game ball, he gets an honorable mention from me.
I will. You covered the base as well. I'm not gonna you know double award
Double
a game
doink.
ball.
Don't double doink me.
Yeah. But I'm going to give a game ball to the man you are going to see on your screen right now. The punishment Dalton Schoen can take
Yeah.
is incredible. He gets a game ball from me. Jones blew him up here. Blew him up. Watch it again. Here, I'll bring it a little tighter. Maybe I won't bring it a little tighter. Here we go. Look at this hit.
And throwing now, it's complete wide open as shown. Hit hard by Jonathan Jones, who's playing the weak side line. The rest
Like,
of the way in.
Schoen not
Now
only
it's complete wide open as shown. Hit hard by Jonathan Jones, who's playing the weak side line.
put up a whole ton of yards today. What did he have? He had Dalton Schoen had 6 catches for 101 yards. Large of 35, 3 second down conversions. One, had 16.8 yards per reception. And the punishment that he takes, he is tough. He is smart. He is so good. I'm giving a game ball to Dalton Schoen because I think he gets overlooked a fair amount. When you talk about the best players on the Blue Bombers.
Yeah, good pick. He does. He somehow does get overlooked a little bit, doesn't he?
Yeah.
By the way, what did you think of the Andrew Harris tribute?
Well, I didn't see it, right?
You didn't see it?
No.
Wasn't it at the beginning of the game?
No, I didn't see it.
Or you didn't see it? I didn't.
Tell us about it. Tell us about it.
Well, it was interesting. So it wasn't a video tribute. There was a picture of him on the big screen, and then Bob McGregor, who's the PA announcer, started talking about him, but you couldn't hear what he had to say because the crowd was cheering. So I don't even know what he said, but he went on for quite a while.
Okay.
It was probably like he was talking for a minute plus.
So it was a lengthy tribute.
It was lengthy. It wasn't like a video montage or anything, but I don't know. I thought it was appropriate given that he wasn't dressed and given the way things ended.
Sorry, you thought it was what?
I thought it was appropriate.
Yeah.
I thought it was fine. I mean,
I don't think it matters if he was dressed or not. He's a member of the team and he's here, right?
yeah, he came. He came. I don't know. I didn't have a problem with it. Some people are saying it was horse crap. I don't know what you expected. Maybe a video tribute would have been something different. I don't know. I just he got a standing ovation.
Why does he need a video tribute?
I don't know. I don't think he did. I think fine.
People are just a little bit raw, and maybe it's insensitive of me to call people sensitive, but maybe that's what it is.
I don't know.
I mean,
it didn't end great, but I still.
It didn't end great. But did you see, like on the broadcast, they showed Harris spending time with his former teammates, hugging Mike O'Shea on the field before the game, having laughs. Like there's no hard feelings. So I don't understand why fans are that upset. Like, is it because I'm asking you, Zach? Do you think it's because the Argos won the Grey Cup? Or do you think it's just because they don't get the storybook ending for Andrew staying with Winnipeg?
I think it's more the latter. I think. I think it's more the latter. I think it's the fact that he didn't finish his career as a Bomber. He's not going to finish his career as a Bomber. There was some sort of bad blood between Harris and the club at the end. So I think it's a little bit of that. I mean, what would have been the better tribute? Maybe if it was a video montage, maybe if they handed him, I don't know, the keys to the city. I don't know. He plays on another team.
So?
He plays on another team.
Guess what? He played on another team before that, and he beat the Bombers in the Grey Cup.
He sure did. He had a touchdown in that game, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
So?
I think he got a nice. I think he got a nice standing ovation. He smiled in the camera. He waved. I think it was fine.
Yeah. Yeah, they interviewed him on TSN. John Liu did a good job,
Oh,
and
did he?
then the Argos were on the doorstep after that coaxy reception. So
Right.
they cut away from it early so they could call, a first and goal from the 5, right? But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it, man. I really don't get it. What's with all the hate? It was a long time ago now. He's been an Argo for 2 years.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't get it. I don't get it. The guy was instrumental in the turnaround of this franchise. Instrumental in breaking a 29-year Grey Cup drought.
He almost didn't last as a Bomber though. You ever listen to the Handled Internally podcast that Ed Tate and Darren Cameron do? They had one with Harris early on, and he
Mhm.
said when he first joined the team, his head wasn't in it. He was partying with his buddies too much, and O'Shea and Walters had a sit down with him and said, "Hey, do you want to be serious about this or not? Because we need to know." I didn't
And then what
realize that.
happened? You go from that to,
Yeah,
you got my back, I got your back.
right. Yeah,
Like,
he.
do you remember how tenacious Harris was in the Grey Cup in Calgary in 2019?
Oh yeah, he was the engine that
He
drove
was
that bus.
lit. And I get it.
Oh
Like a lot of he was probably playing with a boulder on his shoulder, you
yeah,
know? But like Josh, hometown boy, hometown guy skipped town. Yeah, it's business, The Bombers were offering him half as much, maybe even less than half of what Toronto offered him. You and I talked about it on
yeah. We already,
on
yeah, we,
Bonfire Midweek, right? Go back
yeah,
and watch it. If you're curious out there of more about this. I'm never going to blame a guy for earning as much as he can while he can. I don't care if you're a league minimum guy or a top paid player, or you've been in the league for 2 years or 12 years. I don't care. Nobody plays forever, and you got to do what you got to do. You want to play, you want to get paid. Life of a pro athlete is not all sunshine and rainbows. You put your body on the line every day, and you can get cut tomorrow. And like Zach, we know all this. You can get cut tomorrow, and you could your career could be over tomorrow. So
yeah.
I really don't get the
I know.
hate. I don't get
I'm
the hate.
mostly on your side there. The thing is, I think it would have been nice for him to retire as a Bomber and maybe make a little bit less money. Um,
Why?
let's be honest.
Why? Look at Brady. You like Andrew Harris and Brady Oliveira have been close forever. It's been a mentor-mentee, master-protege relationship between those two for a long time. Look at Brady last year, hits 1,000 yards. Okay, this year probably going to finish number 2 all time or single
Yeah,
season all
it's
time
crazy, eh?
in rushing yards by a Canadian. Like he'll hit 1,500 no problem. Might even hit 1,600 now after today's performance.
Yeah, yeah.
But do you think Andrew was just completely naive to Brady's ascension? There's probably, I don't know this, but there's probably few, if any, on a football level closer to Brady Oliveira than Andrew Harris. They've been together. They've been so close for so long. They used to call. Uh, there was a nickname for Brady. It was like little brother, or little cousin, or something like that. Like it runs deep. You think Andrew was naive to that ascension, to who Brady is and how good he is and where he is right now in not just the Blue Bombers pecking order, but the CFL pecking order?
Yeah.
Like,
No, I
come
hear you.
on.
I just Andrew Harris played kind of a complimentary role last year, a little bit of a backup role to Ouellette. I think it would have been nice to see him play that role in Winnipeg for Brady Oliveira.
But he got
Uh,
paid.
yeah, but
He got
I
paid. He got paid a lot of money.
don't know if Andrew Harris went there because he got paid so much as they just wanted him more than Winnipeg seemed to want him.
Well,
I
that's
don't
how
know.
you show a player you want them. You pay them more.
Yeah,
The
that's how
Toronto
you kill
Argonauts
them.
were looking for leadership. They were looking for veteran presence. They were
I
looking
think
for
that's what it
somebody with
was.
championship pedigree. And
That's what it
Harris at
was.
that point was coming off career seasons. Yeah, some injuries. They knew he wasn't going to be their workhorse, but they wanted him in the room. And he helped them win a Grey Cup. And he helped them
Yeah, I
establish
think
a
that's why he went
culture.
to Toronto, because he felt wanted. And I
Well,
realize that
yeah.
money is highlights that, but I don't think it was the money so much as the fact that he felt wanted. And I don't know if that was because of the money per se. I think the money was part of it, but I think it was probably Pinball Clemens getting him on the phone and saying, "Dude, we want you."
Yes,
And he felt spurned by the Bombers. He felt
he
like they
did.
didn't
Yeah.
offer him. They
Yeah.
didn't offer him enough. They didn't
And
want
things
him.
were
They things were heated.
emotions were raw at that time,
Yeah, he felt wanted by
but there's no
Pinball and the
like
Argos.
there's no hard feelings. Like he's hugging Mike
No,
O'Shea.
I just saying it would have been nice. I don't think there's any hard
I know it,
feelings.
but that's the whole thing. It would have been nice. It would
That's what I'm
have been a
saying. It would have been
storybook.
nice.
But the
What do you want
reality
me to say?
is,
It would have been nice.
yeah, it would have been nice. No, I mean, I just have a
I don't have any. I don't have any hard feelings anymore. I just think it would have been nice, but I know there's fans that have hard feelings. It would have been nice. Yeah, he got paid way more. He also lives in a place that costs way more, but whatever. He felt wanted. Who doesn't want to feel
well,
wanted?
dude. The whole lives in a place that costs way more. Like it's 8 months of the year, and he's not moving his family and like all of his his couch and his kitchen. He's not. He's living in a condo somewhere, the same he would in Winnipeg.
No,
I
but
mean, maybe
the
not the same he
cost
would
of
in
living
Winnipeg. He
there
has
is
a house in Winnipeg, but
massively
do you know what
higher.
I mean? Like he's living. It's a pied de terre, right? It's an apartment life for a gig, for a job, for some of
Hey,
the season.
listen. My wife and I paid more for our rent there than we do our mortgage.
No, I get that, but
Not to mention the traffic. Have you seen the traffic?
no, I mean all of that. It's so secondary. It's so
No, yeah,
secondary.
I know. I'm even getting bored of this.
Hmm,
What are we talking?
fair,
Let's we put this. We
fair.
already talked about this on midweek. Now people, go back and listen to midweek. Come on,
Well, it's because
enough of this
we
Harris talk.
hey, he was back in Winnipeg, and it's unfortunate he wasn't able to play in this game. He's on the 6-game injured list, but
Listen, he will get a massive tribute when he goes into the Ring of Honor, because he will
yeah.
go into the Ring of Honor. It might be a few years down the line, but he'll go into the Ring of Honor.
Mhm.
This is let's put this to bed now. But I thought it was a nice tribute. He had a nice smile for the crowd. In a few years, nobody will remember. And you know what? I know a number of fans who he has been awesome to, signing autographs and big in the community, big in the business community. He's a stand-up guy.
Yep.
It's all good. It's all good.
So we're gonna
It's
get
all
your
good, Josh
sober.
Wolf.
We're gonna get your sober second thought on Bonfire midweek on Wednesday night, Schnitzy.
Yeah.
Are we doing Wednesday night? Is there a Jets game?
I don't know. You tell me, Mr. Jets guy.
No, nope, no Jets game.
Okay.
Monday and Thursday next week are the Jets games. Bombers play Friday in BC. It's a 9. Is that right? Pardon me. It's a 9 p.m. Central Time kickoff in
In
Vancouver.
BC. Yeah, it always is.
Are you going to be
I
up
hate
for
it.
a late night game day after dark next week?
That kind of game with that much on the line, I think I kind of have to be, buddy.
Oh, it's going to be good.
It's going to be a good game. I mean,
Yeah.
looks like the Lions are beating the Riders 26-11 right now. Almost the fourth quarter there. Vernon
Yeah.
Adams is having a night. 417 yards so far for Vernon Adams with 2 touchdowns.
What happened to the Riders?
Well, they suck. They're the Riders. Come on.
There you go. Succinctly reported by Zach Schnitzer.
Yes, they suck.
Yeah. Taquan Mizell, 37 yards on the ground. It's all through the air. Hatcher,
Yeah.
160 and a tutty. 9 catches,
I think I have him in
92 yards
fantasy
for
this
Dom
week.
Rhymes,
I think I
78
have
yards for
Hatcher.
Alexander Hollins.
I do have Keon Hatcher in fantasy. He says 31 points. I should have made him my captain.
Fantasy. Nobody cares.
Yeah, I care. I'm trying to win one against our friends in the Canadian what is it? What do they call it? Canadian Football Podcast Network. We've got
Mm.
a
Mhm.
fantasy league going. I think I
Yeah.
missed the playoffs already, but I don't
Yeah.
think I don't think I picked a team last week. I was just tired of it, but anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Looks like
J-
BC's going to win this game.
When is the first Bonfire Sports hockey show? Well,
Yeah.
maybe it won't be a show at all.
Ooh. What does
Maybe it'll
that
be a
even
little bit
mean?
different.
Wow.
We're
Vernon
gonna try
Adams,
something. We're gonna try
422
something
yards,
different.
3 touchdowns.
It'll be kind of like a show, but maybe it kind of be like not a show.
A show,
Um,
but not a show. Okay, I'm excited.
yeah, yeah. No, it's gonna be fun. There's a lot of good hockey content out there in Winnipeg, so I'm going to try to do something a little bit different. I hope I'm not overselling it. I hope I'm not over teasing. But yeah, it's coming. It's coming, and we're going to bring it to you soon. And going to do a few different things. I got a buddy that's going to join me. He's almost like the Schnitzy of hockey, if there could be a
Mm.
Schnitzy of hockey.
There could very well be a Schnitzy of hockey. I think he will be. He'll be even better than Schnitzy.
Yeah, I was close to getting the Walby of hockey, but it just didn't work.
You will. Give it time. Give it
We'll
time,
see.
young man.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. We're gonna try some fun things. It's going to be an interesting season for the Winnipeg Jets. But this just seeing in the light is your boy Bruce. That's funny. Yeah, someone check on Ballsy. But yeah, I like this, Jeremy. A hockey show about nothing? Well, I am an anti-dentite, so maybe it will be a hockey show about nothing. I like that.
I was channeling my inner Larry David earlier in the show, if you didn't notice. So,
pretty
pretty
good.
good.
But yeah, like the home stretch here for Winnipeg, it all starts this week with them going to Vancouver and taking on the Lions in a battle for first place and the right to really have the advantage in the chase for first place in the West Division. The Bombers will host a home playoff game this season. Will it be the West semifinal? Or will it be the West final? Still to be determined. Keep it locked to Bonfire Sports for hockey, sure, but for football as well. Looking forward to Bonfire midweek with you on Wednesday night, Schnitzy, and
Me as well,
of
my
course,
friend.
as we always do, pregame with Walby the day before the game at 3:00 live in the afternoon, and then you and I super late night next Friday with Game Day After Dark.
I'll be up for it. I gotta be up for it. If you're not up for a game like that, then what kind of fan are you? Let's be honest.
Bring it.
Did Ballsy really call out Winnipeg media for complaining about the Toronto benching? I don't feel like the media complained about the Toronto benching at all. I'm just reading Waiter's comment here.
Yep.
I actually thought all the articles I read and media who I listened to online, they totally understood and said if the Bombers were in that situation, they would have done the same thing.
Yep.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Well,
I think it was more calling out the schedule makers for the fact that this game
I don't
didn't
think
happen
any
sooner.
I don't think any Winnipeg media called out the Argos. But that kind of sounds about right. What Waiters is saying there, Do you hear what I'm saying? I know that DT tweeted that Doug Brown called them chicken shit for not
He did.
starting Chad Kelly. And
that was the only one.
That's Doug's job. Doug's job is to be controversial and to make it interesting, right? But as far as media, I don't think anybody called out the Argos. Albie is similar to Doug Brown, right? He's a pundit, and but everybody that has an objective opinion, Walby agreed with me. It was the right decision.
Totally the right thing for a number of reasons.
Yeah.
Not the least of which they didn't want to give the Bombers live film on this guy. which is totally reasonable.
Yep. Yep. Hey,
Um,
much ado about nothing. When your team is, about to be 2 games under 500 with a month to go in the regular season, and getting, pummeled 33-11 with a quarter to play,
yeah,
and you're on quarterback number 3 on the year, and the GM and the head coach are both on expiring contracts, and it's been a rough go for a number of years, with the team in green. These are the things you got to talk about. So
yeah.
maybe we'll leave it at that. But
Leave it
great to
at
see everybody in the live chat tonight. Wasn't it awesome to get everybody
Oh,
kind of involved in the chat,
it was great.
Schnitzy?
It was great. Love the chat. I was someone followed me on Twitter today, and I messaged them to thank them, and told them about our show. And he's like, I already listened to your show. I love the show. And I said, we love the show because of you and the listeners and the fire starters. I mean, it really is awesome. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Final thought. I got a couple comments here. The D line didn't play well tonight. Again, the Argos O line is head and shoulders above everybody else. They are the best O line for run and pass protection in the league. Willie Jefferson stripped the running back, and that was the bonfire burning point tonight. They didn't allow AJ Orlett or McMahon to get going. They ran the ball 10 times. Ouellette once. Yeah, it was a gash for 26. Dukes 4 times. Yeah, maybe they could have been a bit better, but quarterback runs are not traditional runs. And then McMahon, 5 carries for 8 yards. Okay, and a fumble lost. I don't think saying Winnipeg's D line didn't show up is totally fair. But hey, to each their own. Your opinion is relevant and welcome here around the bonfire. Ty Real mentioned a little bit earlier, a BC loss means the Bombers clinch. That is not true. If BC had lost tonight, they could still beat Winnipeg next week and win out the rest of their regular season schedule. Winnipeg could potentially lose to BC, Edmonton, and Calgary. So no, not a clinch. But either way, Lions are rolling right now, 33-11, early in the fourth quarter. As I'm seeing the Argos plead to the officials for a call that I don't think they're going to get. I'm looking forward to watching this game.
Mm-hmm.
But tonight was fun. Maybe not what we expected, but definitely an entertaining game. And great to have the people in the live chat. Thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for the comments, and appreciate you considering subscribing. Great to have you, Schnitzy. Welcome back after having the knee surgery last week.
The IR, baby. I was on the sixth game. They pulled me off early.
Yeah,
That's
with
how
you,
good I
IR
was in the
stands for
cold
irritable.
Irritable. I was in the cold tub. I was doing, I don't know what other kinds of things.
You doing
they
squats?
Squat. Oh yeah, I'm doing squats now. Yeah.
Yeah. You doing the
Squats.
calf raises?
No. Yes, I'm doing calf raises. I'm doing what's it called? Balancing on each leg. I'm doing step ups. I'm doing all sorts of things. Just working my butt off to be back here for you, fire starters.
Yeah. And Towson, go blue. Tame the Lions next week. Well said, Towson. Appreciate you and everybody else joining us. And my favorite part, next to the happy honker of the show, is when I tee it up for you.
You tee it up like a big fat ball on that tee ball, and I just take a swing at it and swing for the fences. Tee ball. The ball goes way over the fence. Sayonara, everybody.